continue the series again. I know it's been a long time. My life kind of took a different direction. I had to deal with some stuff, and it took me quite a while, but we're back. And I want to finish out this series about making your own film, and make it with me. In the past, what we were doing was talking about equipment and infrastructure. What we're going to do now until the end is just talk about writing the story. We need to write the story, write the script, and that's what we're going to do starting today. When we talk about coming up with a story idea, a lot of times you're going to hear people say you need to pick out one of the 7 universal plots because your film is going to fall into one of these 7. Here's the slide that they're talking about. I think that these topics are far too general to serve as a starting point, and I don't even agree that 2 or 3 of these are even plots. I think there's something else. So instead of using this as a guideline, we're going to use this slide coming up, and it's what I call a premise picker. It's much more specific, and it's something that I think a lot of short films are going to be about. I mean, they kind of start with something like this, and unless you're an experienced writer, this may help you kind of get the juices flowing on what needs to be done. Now, I'll be honest with you. I tried to do this live in the past. I do a video where I actually do every step along the way and I convey what's going on, but it took too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you all the decisions that I had to make and the questions I needed to answer in order to set up the premise and the conflict. So from this premise picker here, you need to get a dice, throw the dice. And I came up with a 1. And what that means is you pick the first column, vertical column, all right, on that chart. And that came out to be something is missing. Now, we need to pick something from the horizontal rows. Threw the dice again, came up with another 1. And that meant a personal article is what was missing. But under personal article, there's several subcategories. So take the dice and throw it again. And I came up with the number 3. Now that equates to a lucky piece, so I'm going to call it a lucky charm. That's what's missing. And I thought about it for a while, and I thought, this is going to be kind of difficult, but let's do it because it's going to be a good learning experience. So that's what I decided to do. And we now have the premise of something is missing. It's a personal article. It's a lucky charm. Who's missing this? Well, it's your protagonist. Who is the protagonist? Well, you're the author. You're the one writing this. You come up with the idea. In my world, it's a male, and he's 35 years old. He's 5'8", 150 pounds. Okay, pretty simple. What is he like? What's his personality? What's his demeanor? This one took a while to think about, and I decided he was a nerd, kind of a nerdy guy, and I gave him the name of Edgar because nobody uses that name anymore. It sounds kind of nerdy to me. The choice of a nerd, though, was not accidental. Let me explain why. When you pick someone that has, let's say, social problems, you're going to view that person as a loner. And this person, Edgar, lives alone. He's not married, no kids, never been married, no girlfriend, no roommate, lives alone. And that actually helps the story because you don't have to bog yourself down with all these other characters that would have to be introduced. So it's just Edgar for now. That's all we need to know. And that's why I chose for him to be a nerd. And he is missing this particular device. Now, this lucky charm, why did it become lucky? Well, in my world, this nerdy guy, he goes to work, he comes home, he doesn't do much else, but 2 times a year, he takes a trip to Vegas. And he gambles, and he just has a great time. So that's his opportunity to live and cut loose. Otherwise, he's really boring. Well, on his last trip, he went to Vegas, and he had a losing streak one night at a casino. And he comes out of the casino, and he's really mad. He's just very angry. He's swinging that stuff, and he's kicking the sidewalk, he's kicking the signpost, and he kicks this case, this metal case, this small thing that was kind of at the edge of the sidewalk on the dirt median. And he realizes when he kicks it that that was something unusual. So he looks down, picks it up, and it's this really nice looking metal case, about this size. He opens it, and inside is this beautiful pen. And it's brand new, nice and shiny. Looks expensive, kind of like something you find in Mont Blanc, you know. So he pulls the pen out, he does a little test, and it's this beautiful purple ink. And so he thinks, oh, this thing is special. Takes a pen, puts it back in the case, takes the case, puts it in his pocket, goes down the road, goes to the next casino, and it doesn't matter which one it is. Names don't matter in this case. But he goes in this casino, and he immediately has a run of good luck. Now he's winning. In fact, he wins over $10,000 in less than an hour. All right, biggest win that he's ever had in Vegas. And the only difference that he can figure out between his losing streak just a few minutes ago and now his winning streak was that pen that he picked up. So that becomes his lucky pen. After his trip, he takes it home, and it's always by his side when he's out and about. But when he comes into his apartment, he takes out the pen and the case, and he puts it on the kitchen counter in the same place every single day. Now when he's ready to go out the door for whatever reason, that pen comes with him, grabs it, puts it in his pocket, and now he goes. But he realizes one day that it's missing. Now, you're the author. How did it go missing? You know, in my world, I thought, well, let's see, we could say that he just misplaced it, right, in the apartment. But if it's in the bathroom, it's in the bedroom or whatever, he's going to find it and the story's over, right? And we can't have that. There's no drama there. What if he lost it in the store? Or maybe in the parking lot outside the store? It's kind of similar. If that happened, by the time he backtracks to where he might have lost it, it's going to be gone. Someone will have picked it up, and he'll never find it again. So, you know, once again, the story's over. When something is missing and you pick that off the premise picker, I think that you have to kind of gear your mind into thinking someone stole it, someone took it. That's where the storyline is going to go. So, in this case, someone has taken Edgar's lucky piece, and he needs to find out who, when, where, and how to get it back. Now, how did he notice that it was missing? Well, it wasn't there on the counter. He gets up one day and he's, you know, all dressed, ready to go to work, and he reaches for this pen, and it's not there. Okay, so what does that mean? It means somebody came in to the building and into his apartment and stole this pen without him even knowing it, because he was asleep in the bedroom. Now, there was one more thing that I decided about him. I didn't really say it, but you know, because he's 35 years old and a nerd, I decided that he was a software engineer. You know, this kind of social misfit as a software engineer. Not that, you know, there are people like that, you know. But anyway, that was my decision. And software engineers, they get paid good money. So when we talk about Edgar's apartment, it's a nice apartment in a nice building. In fact, the downstairs door, I decided was a security door, that you need one of those credit card electronic passes. You know, wave it in front of the reader and it lets you in. Otherwise, you're going to have to call security and they'll come to the door or buzz you in. So somebody managed to get past the door and get into his room without his knowledge. Okay, so there's your conflict, at least partially. We've got your main character, we've got the missing item, we know what it is, and we know for a fact it was stolen, it was taken. But there's one more part that has not been figured into the story yet. And this is something that you need to come up, because you're the writer, you're the author. What's going on with this pen? What is it really? Is it just a pen? No, it can't be. No one's going to come into an apartment just to steal a pen, and that's the only thing that they took. What is this pen? Well, you need to come up with something and think about things. I thought about, well, it could be like a James Bond super secret spy thing. It could be a secret medical device, maybe cutting edge medical device. It could be a trigger for a weapon of mass destruction. It's up to you. You come up with that idea, but once you answer that question, you will have an idea of who took this and why. You see how that works? And once you have that established, then you can work on the resolution of this conflict. Edgar has to track who came in. He needs to know who, where, and when, where he might have gone, and he needs to try and get his lucky charm back. Now, what is going to be the final outcome of this story? Well, the storybook ending, of course, would be that he finds it and he's reunited with his lucky charm and he puts it back in his pocket, right? But let's think about this for a bit. That pen, it doesn't belong to him. It's not his. He just found it, right? Is that going to factor into the final outcome in your story? I don't know. That's up to you. Okay, so folks, I also want to make a point that for any fellow background actor that's watching this is the opportunity to write a vehicle for yourself, because you can cast yourself as Edgar or Edna, depending on the gender. And you can be the main star here. If you finish the story, write the script, do the film, submit it to a film festival, and provided it gets accepted into a film festival, you've been in a bona fide movie, and you can put this on your resume, and you've got something for your demo reel. Okay, so if you're interested in getting more acting credits, this is one way to do it. But your next step is most definitely, you got to finish this story. Folks, in the next episode, we're going to talk a little bit more about scripting. There is an industry standard that most scripts are in, and it's quite specific. You don't need to do this if you're doing your own film, especially like your first or second film. You just need to make sure that it's clear so that the actors know what their lines are. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So until then, aloha.